बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप सभी? आई होप आप सभी बहुत अच्छे से होंगे। क्लास की शुरुआत करते हैं। चैप्टर है हमारा नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ। स्नीक पीक, क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज, लैंड, लैंड यूज, ह्यूमन फैक्टर्स, फिजिकल फैक्टर्स, माउंटेन्स, प्लेन्स, प्लेटियर्स, लैंड कंजर्वेशन, फिर आता है सॉइल, सॉइल फॉर्मेशन, पैरेंट रॉक, क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस, रिलीफ, प्लांट एंड एनिमल ऑर्गेनिजम्स, टाइम, फिर आता है सॉइल प्रोफाइल, सॉइल रिसोर्सेज, सॉइल कंजर्वेशन, एंड इसके अंदर है सॉइल रिसोर्सेज के अंदर एल्यूएबल सॉइल, ब्लैक सॉइल, रेड सॉइल, लेटराइट, माउंटेन सॉइल, डेजर्ट सॉइल, कंटोर प्लगिंग, टेरेस फार्मिंग, क्रॉप रोटेशन, स्ट्रिप क्रॉपिंग सॉइल, कंट्रोल बैरियर्स, एफॉरेस्ट्रेशन एंड शेल्टर बेल्ट्स। फिर इसके अंदर आता है बच्चों वाटर, influence of water, global distribution, water scarcity, threat to water, dams, resources, conservation of water resources, wildlife and vegetation, इसके अंदर आता है ecosystem, factors affecting wildlife and vegetation, world's forest, deforestation, conservation, afforestation, check on urban growth and restrictions on mining and agriculture activities. Prelude, highlights of the chapter, the importance of land and water as natural resources, soil and formation of soil, classification, natural vegetation, the main land forms and its uses to humans, the importance of soil as a natural resource, the role of natural vegetation in growth and protection of wildlife. Land is one of the most important natural resources. However, land covers only about 30% of the Earth's total surface. 90% of the world population occupies only 30% the total land area. The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited because of rugged terrain और harsh climate. बच्चों, लैंड जो है वो एक वन ऑफ द मोस्ट नेचुरल रिसोर्स है। लैंड जो कवर है उसका 30% ही हिस्सा है जो रहने लायक है ह्यूमंस के, बाकी 70 जो % एरिया है वहाँ पर जो वो एरिया जो स्पार्शली पॉपुलेटेड है, इनहैबिटेटेड है, क्योंकि रग्ड और टेरेन और हार्श क्लाइमेट की वजह से वहाँ पर लोग जाकर नहीं रह सकते। Land use. The term land is defined as using land for differentiate purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, setting up industries and roads and railways. इन सभी चीज़ों को करने के लिए लैंड की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। यानी अगर हम खेती करना चाहते हैं तो हम कहाँ करेंगे? लैंड के अलावा और तो कहीं नहीं कर सकते ना। The utilization of land depends on physical factors such as relief, soil, climate and natural vegetation, availability of water and minerals, and human factors such as population and technology. Physical factors, plains formed by rivers provide fertile soil and receive abundant water for agriculture. Mountain slopes are covered with thick forest cover, and the scenic beauty is an attraction of tourists. The plateau region is the storehouse of minerals, so mining becomes as activity. Human factors, the lifestyle of the people, the location of a place and its accessibility affect land use. Land can be under private ownership or community ownership. Private land is owned by individuals or group of individuals. Land use of private holdings is according to the need of the landowner. On the other hand, community land is mostly used to serve the purpose of the community for uses such as fodder, firewood collection and grazing cattle. Such community land known as common property resource. In some areas, people encroach in community land and misuse it. The earth's land sources are limited and the land demanded is high, therefore land should be used judicially. Land can be divided on the basis of private land and community land. Private land is individually owned, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like collective of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. Community lands are also called common property resources. Land is not uniform everywhere. The land surface is uneven and can be divided into 3 categories such as mountainous, plateaus and plains. We can make sustainable optimism use of land by understanding the features of these resources. Mountains. Mountains are high altitude regions on the surface of the earth. Mountains have some of the most useful forests and other vegetation types. They are sources of perennial rivers. There is a development of hydropower projects from the water of snow-fed perennial rivers. Their forest and scenic beauty are a source of attention for tourists. Plateaus. Plateaus are elevated tablelands. Many of the world's high plateaus are either deserts or suitable for cattle grazing. Agriculture is possible in the low plateaus. Most plateaus are a rich source of minerals. The river flowing down from the plateaus have rapids, and this has allowed the development of hydroelectricity. Plains. Plains are low altitude fertile regions. They are vast and flat. They have the benefit of rich alluvial soil brought by the rivers. They have easy means of communication, transport. Cheap labor is available in the plains. Plains are areas supporting rich agriculture in the world. Plains are drained by the large rivers and their tributaries, which provided enough water for human and animal consumption. Land use of India indifferent from other countries. India has a very high percentage of arable land, while Australia has the highest percentage of pasture land. So agriculture is the chief occupation in India, while sheep rearing is widely practiced in Australia. But India's forest cover is low. Japan has 67% of its land area and under forest. The UK and USA are highly urbanized countries and have less land area under crops. Conservation of land resources. Common methods used to conserve land are afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and check on overgrazing. अब आते हैं रिसर्च जंक्शन पर. हंटर्स ओकेजनली engage in selective hunting of wild animals for recreational purposes. This is called trophy hunting. Do you think this should be allowed? Do some research on the internet and write a report on it. बच्चों इसकी प्रैक्टिस आप खुद से कीजिएगा. नॉलेज जंक्शन. Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a collector of litter and debris that makes it way from the land to the water bodies around the world. Plastics is one of the main litter found in garbage patch. Grasp and gain. World Wide Fund WWF is an international organization which promotes the welfare of wildlife. WWF India was established in 1969 to promote the conservation of wildlife in India. The government passed a comprehensive wildlife protection law in 1972, which listed all the animals and birds that are protected. Soil. Soil is a top layer of the land surface of the earth composed of disintegrated rock particles, humus, water and air. It is formed by process of weathering and erosion. Soil is a combination of decayed and disintegrated materials. Soil formation. Soil formation is a long process and is caused by many factors. It can take up 1,000 years for just an inch of soil to form. Parent rock. The original rock from which soil is formed is called the parent rock. The type of the soil and the mineral present depend on the parent rock it is formed from. The parent rock also decides the color, texture and chemical properties of the soil. For example, clay soil is formed from shale. Climatic condition. Temperature and participation affect soil formation. Great variation in temperature and moisture in the air increase the rate of weathering. Relief. Altitude and slope of land play an important role in soil formation. On a steep slope, the soil is thin because the weathered rock particles cannot be deposited as they slide down the slope under the force of gravity. On gentle slopes, the soil covers is thicker. Plant and animal organisms. Plants and microorganisms provide organic matter to the soil and add its fertility. Time. It determines the thickness of the soil. From the deeper layers of the soil are the ones that were formed first. Soil profile. A vertical section of soil from the surface to the parent rock is called the soil profile. The process of soil formation creates a stratified and soil profile. The layers or horizons of soil from bottom are as follows. A horizon. This horizon is made up of the top layer of soil called the topsoil. It is usually the darkest layer as it has the highest concentration of organic matter called humus. It is also a region of intense biological activity. Insects, worms and animals burrow though it and roots of plants grow onto it. Some amounts of minerals and clay may dissolve in fresh water in this layer and trickle down to the lower layers of soil. B horizons. This horizon comprises the subsoil. It is made of soluble minerals and accumulated clay. Although this layer has less amount humus, it holds more amount of water compared to topsoil. बच्चों यहाँ पर आप soil की profile को देख सकते हैं अच्छे से. अब आते हैं C horizon पर. This layer comprises the deposit on the earth's surface from which soil is developed. It has small pieces of rocks that are not affected by weathering. D horizon. This layer has the unbroken soil rock sheet and is located several feet below the ground surface. It also called the bedrock. This layer is mostly made of granite, basalt, quartz, limestone and sandstone. Soil resources of India. Soil in India varies in composition and structure from region to region. It is characterized into 6 types. Alluvial soil comprises sand, silt and clay brought down by rivers in India. It is found in the northern plains covering the states of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, Assam, and in the eastern coastal plains. This type of soil is very fertile and suitable for agriculture. Black soil is formed from the weathering of lava rocks. It is also known as regular soil. The soil is clay and becomes sticky when wet and cracks when dry. Black soil covers most of the northwest Deccan Plateau and some parts of Tamil Nadu. It is ideal for the cultivation of cotton and thus is known as black cotton soil. Red soil is reddish in color because of the presence of iron oxide. This type of soil is found in southern and the eastern part of peninsular India. अब आते हैं laterite is rich in iron and aluminium and is commonly considered to have formed in hot and wet tropical areas. It is formed when heavy rains wash away the fertile part of the soil. It contains little humus. It is typically found in southern part of India including Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Madhya Pradesh. Mountain soil is formed due to the deposition of organic matter and is thus rich in humus. This soil is mainly found in Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh and West Bengal. Crops such as wheat, soybean, sugarcane grow well in mountain soil. Desert soil is usually light in color and sandy in texture. It has sparse vegetation that varies with temperature and elevation. This soil lacks humus but contains a high proportion of soluble salts. It is found in hot and semi-arid regions like western Rajasthan and parts of Gujarat. Research Junction. Which are top 3 states in India in terms of forest cover? Why do they have more forest cover intact as compared to the other states in India? बच्चों, इंडिया के किस स्टेट्स में ज़्यादा फॉरेस्ट कवर है? हालांकि बाकी स्टेट्स के मुकाबले उन स्टेट्स में ज़्यादा फॉरेस्ट कवर क्यों है? बच्चों, इसकी प्रैक्टिस आप खुद से कीजिएगा. नॉलेज जंक्शन पर आते हैं. इन इंडिया अराउंड 60% ऑफ लैंड इज यूज्ड फॉर एग्रीकल्चर. दिस इज हायर देन that used in the United States where 44% of land is used. बच्चों, इंडिया में 60% जो लैंड है उसका इस्तेमाल एग्रीकल्चर के लिए किया जाता है, वहीं यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में केवल 44% ही लैंड का इस्तेमाल एग्रीकल्चर के लिए किया जाता है. ग्रास पेंगुइन. 80% of the world's population resides in India. It has access to only 4% of usable water resources. About 163 million Indian lack access to safe drinking water. What could be the reason behind this lack of access to safe drinking water? बच्चों, इसकी प्रैक्टिस आप खुद से कीजिएगा. अब आते हैं सॉइल कंजर्वेशन पर. सॉइल कंजर्वेशन मीन्स प्रोटेक्टिंग टॉप सॉइल फ्रॉम गेटिंग इरोडेड और बीइंग वॉश्ड away. Some of the methods used by the farmers to conserve soil are contour plugging. In this method, the farmer plugs along a slope rather than up and down the slope. It reduces erosion at the contours of a hill slope, naturally obstruct the flow of water down the hill slope. Terrace farming. Hill slopes are used as cultivated land. In the method, the farmer cuts steps or terraces to reduce the speed at which the rainwater flows downhill. Crop rotation. It is a system of cultivating different crops on the same land during following years. As different crops need different minerals from the soil, it prevents any one type of nutrient from being exhausted from the soil. Strip cropping. It is the method of growing different crops, cover crops alternating with cultivated crops in narrow strips. Contour barriers. Bunds made using stones, grass and soil can be used to build barriers along contours to restrict the flow of water. Mulching. The bare ground is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw or husk to retain soil moisture. Afforestation. It is the process of planting large number of trees on land that has few or no trees on it. Shelter belts. In dry areas where wind erosion is common, rows of trees and shrubs should be planted to check the velocity of the wind. These rows are called shelter belts. Soil erosion and the subsequent loss of fertility are serious problems in developing countries. The measures of soil conservation should be planned on scientific lines and implemented with the active participation of farmers. Water and its influence on all aspects of human life. Our Earth is a unique planet because it is the only planet that has water. Hence, it is also known as the blue planet. बच्चों, हमारा अर्थ जो है केवल यूनिक प्लानट इसे कहा जाता है क्योंकि इसी पर पानी पाया जाता है, इसलिए इसे ब्लू प्लानट भी कहा जाता है. Presence of large quantities of water is responsible for the moderating influence on weather condition. The salinity in the oceans had led to large variety of marine life from tiny plankton to whales. Water helps in precipitation. We can define precipitation as any liquid or solid aqueous deposit that forms in a saturated atmosphere. Relative humidity equals 100% and falls from the clouds to ground surface. इवापोरेशन एंड कंडेंसेशन गिव अस रेनफॉल एंड स्नोफॉल. बच्चों, इवापोरेशन और कंडेंसेशन ही हमें रेनफॉल यानी बारिश और स्नोफॉल यानी बर्फबारी देता है. अ पार्ट ऑफ द वाटर और रेनफॉल सीप्स बिलो द surface of the soil and rocks and forms underground water. This underground water is drawn and through wells and helps irrigation in areas that do not get sufficient rainfall. An example of this is the artesian wells. They are found in the Great Artesian Basin of Australia, situated in the interior of the continent. Artesian wells occur in places where there is sufficient rainfall and the permeable rock is exposed. Artesian well makes the water flow under natural pressure without pumping water. When it falls from a height, can be utilized to produce hydroelectricity. River help us from irrigation canals, enabling better crop production. It also helps in all economic activities such as cultivation, manufacturing, industries, etc. अब आते हैं ग्लोबल डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ऑफ वाटर पर. 3/4 of Earth's surface is covered with water. Water is found in solid, liquid and gaseous form on the Earth. The ocean water, however, is saline and not fit for human consumption. Fresh water accounts for only about 2.7% of this fraction. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland and mountainous regions. Only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use. केवल 100% में से केवल 1% ही पानी अवेलेबल है, फ्रेश वाटर है, जो ह्यूमन नीड्स को फुलफिल कर सकता है. इट इज़ फाउंड एज ग्राउंड वाटर, एज सरफेस वाटर इन रिवर्स एंड लेक्स एंड वॉज वाटर वेपर इन एटमॉस्फेयर. Distribution of water, fresh water is highly uneven in the world. This is mainly due to climatic reason. In many areas, rainfall or precipitation is more than evaporation, so they have surplus precipitation. In areas between 20° N and 40° S latitudes, evaporation is more than precipitation. The amount of rainfall in India is unevenly distributed and it only rains for 4 months in a year. अब आते हैं वाटर स्कैर्सिटी पर. इट इज़ अ मेजर कंसर्न एज मोस्ट ऑफ द कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड फेस शॉर्टेज ऑफ वाटर इन सम रीजन और द अदर. बच्चों, ये एक टेंशन बन गई है कि ज़्यादातर कंट्रीज़ में यानी पूरे वर्ल्ड के कुछ ऐसी कंट्रीज़ भी है जहाँ पर पानी की कमी देखी जा रही है. लोग पानी की कमी, वाटर का जो शॉर्टेज है उसे फेस कर रहे हैं. ड्राउट प्रोन कंट्रीज ऑफ अफ्रीका एंड एशिया आर द वर्स्ट हिट. The large number of population in these countries has aggravated the problem of water scarcity. While water needs are increasing, the water resources are fixed and this puts a major strain on the existing resources. In many urban areas, groundwater levels are dangerously low as usage exceeds the use of recharge. Threats to water resources. Increasing urbanization, water population, absence of water management are the major threats to fresh water supplies throughout the world. सबसे पहला है dams. Multi-purpose projects are built over the rivers to prevent soil erosion and floods. Examples are Aswan in Egypt, Bhakhara, Hirakund and Rihan in India. The earliest dams were built to stop or control floods and to supply water for irrigation and domestic use. Nowadays, dams are also used for generating hydroelectricity. Controversies surround dams as environmental problems are associated with them. Dams divert enormous quantities of water. The natural equilibrium is disturbed by them. Vast forest areas are submerged under raised water level. Underground water is distributed by dams as its flows is checked. Many areas are left dry. Dams are also distributed the drainage basins. Conservation of water resources. Water resource को हम कैसे कंजर्व करके रख सकते हैं? Water population can be controlled by suitably treating nitrates, metals and pesticides before releasing them into water bodies. Water harvesting is another method to serve surface runoff. The canals should be properly lined to minimize losses of water seepage. In dry region with a high rate of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. Proper utilization of irrigation must be made. Irrigation is the provision of water for crops in areas where the natural precipitation is considered inadequate for crop growth. अब आते हैं नेचुरल वेजिटेशन एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ पर. नेचुरल वेजिटेशन एंड इकोसिस्टम. Natural vegetation can be defined as original plant life of a region untouched by human influence. The ecosystem refers to the life supporting system in the biosphere where the living beings are interdependent and interrelated on each other for survival. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce the oxygen we breathe, protect the soil that is essential for growing crops, act as shelter belts, help in storing underground water, and provide us with fruits, latex, nuts, gum, medicines, and also paper. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hide, and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey, help in the pollination of flowers, and play an important role as decomposers in the ecosystem. Factors influencing plants and wildlife resources. The distribution of plants and animals on the earth is determined by the climate of an area. The nature of the plants in an area also determines the kind of animals found in that area. Plants are rooted to the soil and cannot move. They have to make adjustments to seasonal changes. Wind to affect plant life. It controls the growth of plant through an increase in the rate of transpiration. The type of soil also determines what kind of plant would grow in a particular region. Soil components decide not only the growth of plant life but also that of animal life in the soil. The relief features of a place also determine the growth of plant life. The world's forest. Evergreen forest. Tropical evergreen forests are found in equatorial and coastal regions. The trees found here are mahogany, rosewood, ebony, etc. Mid-latitude evergreen forests are found on eastern coastal margins in mid-latitude areas. The trees found here are oak, eucalyptus, wattle, etc. Deciduous forest. They are found in tropical, subtropical, and mid-latitude areas. The trees are mostly deciduous. They shed their leaves in autumn and remain leafless in winter. Tropical deciduous forests are found in subtropical regions with a distinct dry season. The trees found here are teak, sal, sisam, etc. Mid-latitude deciduous forests are found in temperature coastal regions. The trees found here are maple, birch and oak. बच्चों अब आ जाते हैं Mediterranean forest पर. They are found in areas bordering the Mediterranean Sea, which include Asian, African and European areas. The trees found here are cork, olive and chestnut. Coniferous forest. They cover a broad belt of northern land in North America and Eurasia, located between 50° and 70° and latitudes. The trees found here are blue pines, cedar, silver trees and deodar. Distribution of natural vegetation. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grasslands, shrubs and tundra. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. In regions of moderate rainfall, short stemmed trees and grass grow, forming the grasslands of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny scrubs and shrubs grow. Forests are broadly classified as green, evergreen and deciduous depending on when they shed their leaves. Evergreen forests do not shed their leaves in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. Deforestation and conservation of forest. The large-scale cutting of trees during the last few decades has led to ecological imbalances. The removal of forest cover a large scale is called deforestation. Deforestation has several detrimental effects on our environment, such as loss of habitat for wild animals, loss of fodder the domestic animals and loss of important medicinal plants. The depletion of forest areas has also resulted in excessive carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, leading to global warming. It is essential to maintain natural vegetation cover of the planet. Apart from destruction of humans, other factors such as fire, insects, diseases and storms are responsible for the destruction of natural vegetation. Important ways of conserving forests are afforestation. The most important measure is to plant more trees. Check on urban growth. New cities have led to destruction of forest areas. It is necessary to protect the forest from human encroachment. Restriction of mining and agricultural activities. Forests are being cleared for mining and agriculture. Check on excessive mining and agriculture can help save the forests. Wildlife resources. In Africa, elephants, wild Buffaloes, snakes, pythons, monkeys, hippopotamus, and rhinoceros are found in forests and swamps. South America has a wide variety of monkeys, reptiles, snakes, and mammals. It hosts a variety of unique species like the condor, the largest bird of prey, flightless bird, anaconda, a large python. Many of the animals in Australia are marsupials, that is kangaroo. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Awareness programs like social forestry and One Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and community level. Many countries have passed laws against the trade as well as killing of birds and animals. The Worldwide Fund of Nature (WWF) is an international organization that promotes the welfare of wildlife in India. All the wild animals and birds have been protected by the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Killing of the wild animals and birds would lead to severe punishment as per this act. बच्चों अब आ जाते हैं टर्म्स टू लर्न पर. अफॉरेस्टेशन, प्लांटिंग ट्रीज टू इंक्रीज फॉरेस्ट कवर. एरेबल लैंड suitable for growing crops. Estuarine wells, water flows naturally, no pumping. Conservation, protecting and sustainable management. Deforestation, large scale clearing of forests. Hydroelectricity, power generating by water flow. Land reclamation, recovering land from the sea. Latrine, soil rich in iron and aluminium. Mulching, covering soil with organic materials. Parent rock, original rock forming soil. Soil profile, vertical section showing layers. Strip cropping, alternating crops in narrow strippings. Terrace farming, steps cut into slopes for agriculture. Wildlife Protection Act, law protecting animals and birds. अब आते हैं let's recapitulate पर. Land use is diverse, ranging from agriculture, forestry, mining to urban development and transportation infrastructure, influenced by both physical and human factors. Physical geography such as plains, mountains, and plateaus dictates specific land use, which plants often used for agriculture due to their fertile soil and flat terrain. Human factors including lifestyle, property ownership, and technological advancement also play critical roles in determining how land is utilized and managed. Community land, often known as common property resources, is used collectively for purposes like grazing, fodder collection, and as a communal resource. Judicious use of land must be emphasized due to its limited availability and high demand, highlighting the importance of sustainable land management practices. Soil, a combination of rock particles, humus, water, and air, undergoes formation process influenced by parent material, climate, and biological activity. The soil is structured in layers, with the topmost horizon rich in organic matter and the deepest consisting of bedrock. Conservation techniques such as afforestation, land reclamation, and controlled use of chemicals are crucial for maintaining soil health and preventing erosion. Water is a critical natural resource, with its distribution significantly affecting various aspects of human life and ecological balance. Techniques of water conservation, including drip irrigation and water harvesting, are presented as solutions to manage scarcity and optimize usage in agriculture and urban settings. Natural vegetation and wildlife are interconnected within ecosystems, providing essential services such as oxygen production, soil stabilizations, and biodiversity support. Global and local conservation efforts must be advocated for afforestation, sustainable agriculture practices, and legal frameworks to protect natural habitats and wildlife. बच्चों अब आ जाते हैं assessment junction पर. Tick the correct option. How is the term land use defined? Option A, Option B, Option C, Option D. बच्चों आगे की प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा. अब आ जाते हैं स्टेट वेदर द गिवन सेंटेंसेस आर ट्रू और फॉल्स. लैंड कैन बी डिवाइडेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ प्राइवेट लैंड एंड कम्युनिटी लैंड. ट्रू. बच्चों आगे की प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा. फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स. बच्चों चैप्टर की मदद से यहाँ पर जो ब्लैंक्स है उसे फिल कीजिएगा. डिफ्रेंशिएट बिटवीन द फॉलोइंग. बच्चों इसकी प्रैक्टिस खुद से कीजिएगा. आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन इन 20-30 वर्ड्स. बच्चों चैप्टर की मदद से इसे खुद से कीजिएगा. आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन इन 50 to 60 वर्ड्स. बच्चों चैप्टर की मदद से इन क्वेश्चन के आंसर आप खुद से दीजिएगा. आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस इन डिटेल. बच्चों इन क्वेश्चन के आंसर आपको डिटेल में देना है. चैप्टर की मदद से इसे खुद से कीजिएगा. पॉइंट टू पॉन्डर. Modern agriculture practices such as overuse of chemical fertilizers and pesticides are not only affecting the soil but also the human health. Do you agree? बच्चों इसकी प्रैक्टिस आप खुद से कीजिएगा. बच्चों आई होप आज की क्लास में हमने जो भी पढ़ा आपको अच्छे से समझ में आ गया होगा. अब आप इसकी प्रैक्टिस खुद से करते रहिएगा.